everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to the Dice Tower. Today we're taking a look at a game called Perch, which is about birds. This is from Inside Up, who's probably best known at these points for making a game called Earth. So this is another nature game about birds. But let's be clear, these birds are not happy birds. These birds are not friendly birds. This is a mean area control, area majority style game where you want to take control of the cat and dog and have them take out your opponent's birds. Here's how it plays. In this game, you're going to set up a bunch of tiles. There is quite a few different tiles that you'll be randomly choosing from. There are creature tiles. Each creature tile comes with a matching creature token. And then there are cards that tell you how each of these different creatures works. So you won't be using all of them in every game, but many of them per game. There's some special tiles, and there's some basic tiles in every game. Some tiles start with nests on them. It shows you in the bottom corner. Players are going to get a bunch of birds for themselves, as well as hidden objective cards, which are ways to score extra points at the end of the game. Have one or more of your birds on each location. Have two or more of your birds in each of 5 or more different locations of your choice. The game takes place over 5 rounds, and each round players are going to throw 2 of their birds in the bag. You're then going to get 2 birds of your own color, and then draw 2 more from the bag. These happen to be birds of other players' colors, but I might even get more of mine color. Sometimes birds will be left in the bag that are left over if there are extra birds in the bag. Then players are going to be taking turns placing these birds that they have out on the board. When placing a bird, you put it on a location. If there's a nest, you can put that bird in the nest, and the birds stack like that. In fact, if I put another bird, I can put them on top of that. Shows how many birds I have. That nest counts as an extra bird of that type. And other players can have birds here. And again, like I said, you can place other players' birds in different spots. So players are going to be taking this as they put them out. And you also have free actions that can be taken, which often involve activating an animal or putting out a birdhouse or something like that. Each animal, like I said, has a card. And at the end of a round, whoever controls a spot that has an animal, this says a controlling player becomes the owl controller. They now control the owl piece, wherever it might be, and they're going to get the owl card in here. So it tells you how the owl will activate. Also, first, second, third place are going to get points. 3, 2, and 1 on this one. 6, 4, and 3. This one's weird. 5, 0, 2. Remembering that nests count as a bird there. If 2 players are tied for the most birds, then you don't get points for first or second. And the person who has the third most birds will score normally, because ties in this game cancel each other out. So you can place other players' birds so that ties will happen. If 3 or more players are tied, then no one gets anything. So there's some rules about ties, and like I said, there's also special things that are going to happen at different locations. We have the scoring bird over here, which is going to keep track of each of the rounds, and it shows you in round 4 that you have a birdhouse that you can build on top of a stack of birds. So that's another piece in the game, another free action that you can take in round 4. Many of the different animals are going to, get rid of birds and send them to the fountain. Like this says, swap a bird from any location where the squirrel stops with any bird from the fountain. The cat will send basically a bird to the fountain. And so birds are going to come to empty fountain spaces, which are going to be endgame scoring spots, basically on how high you can get in the fountain, although you can't go to a spot till there's a bird below you. And any bird that's, once the fountain's full, they're stuck here in the plaza. So this shows you the endgame, and whoever has the largest flock and creatures that you control are also going to score you points. So the largest stack will give you points at the end of the game. So you're scoring points during the game from controlling areas. You score some points at the end of the game for birds in the fountain and some of these extra things, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Now, there are more rules to the game than what I just went over. In fact, how each animal moves is very specific. So before each game, you want to look and see how the animals move, how everything goes. But this game is such an intriguing game that you have to go in being friends with everyone you're playing with when you start and agreeing that you'll be friends when you leave, because nothing is nice in this game. I will make there be a tie in an area so that none of you get points. I will I will come into an area and control the cat and go through and kill yours. Sometimes I'll kill my own birds just so they get a better spot in the fountain. We're fighting over nests. We're fighting over this stuff. And it's just kind of crazy how intense this game can be, but it's also a fairly light game. Like, this is not a game that you're going to go into with like great thought about where you're going to put stuff, because it's going to be a little chaotic, not because of the game, but because of your opponents. I'm fighting you for this spot. Well, the third person, Janelle, she might say, you're two fighting over that. I happen to have an extra bird of Tom's color. I'm going to make sure you guys tie on that. I don't want that to happen. So maybe she makes the tie, but then I move the cat in and kill one of the birds so that there's no longer a tie. And you can't control everything in a game like this because everyone's fighting over it. I think it works better with more players because of that. But it's kind of fascinating. There's no real super negative effects except for those ties. But, you kill my birds, at least they go to the fountain. At least they'll get a few points for sending them over there. I'm losing in this spot, but I'm winning in this one. And the idea of you putting out two birds of your color plus birds from the bag, sometimes you're almost disappointed when you pull your own color from the bag as opposed to the other players. It's kind of a fascinating thing. It's not a particularly long game. It says on the box here that it is 45 to 60 minutes. I think that's accurate. And I think you'll like the game if you can get into what it's about. If you can get into it and say, hey, we're just going to have a frolicking time of just smashing each other's birds and fighting over nests and sending the eagle to go after the other players, and how each animal, some animals move diagonally and chase birds away, so you're destroying area control that way. Sometimes they kill birds. Sometimes they switch spots. Each animal's different, and so every game is going to be a little different because of the special tiles that are out there. Some spots you send them to, the birdhouses, the components are neat on how everything stacks. And it's a really nice product for what it is. Is it great? No. I think the lack of really hard strategy is going to knock it down from that. For me, this is a 7 out of 10. I enjoy it. I have to go in with the mindset of, it's time to fight, rolling up the sleeves, getting the birds ready. But for the 45 minutes that the game takes, I think it works really well. You're laughing, going after each other, fighting over area majorities. And there's not a lot of area majority games like this anymore. I mean, on one hand, this reminds me of El Grande. Don't get me wrong, it's not to the heights of that amazing game. But the idea of controlling and getting points throughout the game, but also sticking birds in that fountain and fighting for control of those animals, because not only do I want to take the cat so that I can get your birds with it, sometimes I just want the cat so you can't get my birds with it. And I find that sort of thing to be fascinating. So because of the short time frame of the game, but also the nice quality of the components, but the back and forth, if you like that sort of thing, if you want to go after other players for the course of a game, I think you'll enjoy it. If you're not interested in that, then this should be a pass for you. But I like that once in a while. I find it to be fun. And I think Perch, despite its peaceful, pleasant cover, contains a chaotic, demon-esque bird-in-your-face knife fight in a phone booth by birds that I find to be enjoyable. So check it out. That's Perch. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games. We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.